Yeah, because he about to get dropped.
Yeah.
Oh.
Whoa, okay.
Hey.
Head on. Oh. Now your pants are working against you.
They're
No,
like,
don't worry about getting out the water.
I thought somebody was going to start trying to drown the other.
Yeah, I wish he would have. That would have. Did he push him or
No,
punch
he
him?
swung out and missed, and the guy fell back into the water.
I love that
Kick
he
him.
isn't losing his hat though.
Well, that guy definitely threw the first punch. Oh.
He just kicked at him.
Oh,
Perfect time
he
for a
missed
double leg.
twice.
Oh, he got him that time.
Yeah, barely.
Oh, there it
Oh,
is.
my
Double
gosh.
leg. And now he drowns.
Why is he getting so far out there?
They are going to lose this dude. He had to swim back.
And now he's like, here, let
Here,
me
let me help you. Let me
help
help
out of
you.
the water and then continue to kick you.
Let me help him out. Because if he drowns, it's
He's
involuntary
like,
manslaughter.
I don't need your help, man.
Your cell phone is destroyed, by the way.
He's like, take this one with you.
He's
Now
trying
let
to
me
be
help you out of the water
He's trying to be
again.
cool. But that's the guy that swung first.
Yeah,
He's
he-
not going to shake
Yeah.
hands.
Yeah, he threw the first punch.
So
And then
I think because his face is wet, it makes even more impact sound. Let me get the water on your back.
doing a little Muhammad Ali.
What is this? Oh, man down. And he hit him again. 2 more. Just stay down.
Whoever's recording is having a ball.
This is awesome.
What's up, your minions and your mignonette? Today we have Mean Mike here in the studio,
Hello, everybody.
here to share with us all the mean things you can do with your significant other on the mat.
I want to make sure Ashley doesn't watch this.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Anywho, so we're here and we're here to talk about something that is kind of a touchy subject for some people, I'm sure, but I think it needs to be discussed, and that is gym hoppers. Just look at the fucking camera.
With gym hoppers, there's one that you can look at, and it has nothing to do with culture, has nothing to do with the people inside. It has to do with how their life is outside of here. And maybe they have a job that they're on the road all the time, and so they really don't have a home base, so they have to gym hop. And they even maybe want to stay at a place, but their lifestyle with their job requires them to travel, so they don't have a home base. So those ones, you know, they may love every gym that they've gone in and wish they could stay at.
Mike, get those luscious lips much closer to your microphone.
Like this close?
Yeah.
I want you eating that thing.
Too close?
I'm going to take these off.
I may be mean, but I got a weak voice. Sorry, Jeff.
You know, I think you have you kind of have to define what a gym hopper is, though. I wouldn't like what you're describing is the guy who is maybe in a corporate office job, like someone we know, and he's got a home base, but he travels so much that I still want to train jiu-jitsu. I got to find somewhere to go, and I'm going to be out of town for 6 weeks maybe. So I wouldn't consider that guy a gym hopper. When I'm thinking
Right.
gym hopper, I'm thinking a guy that almost is, or guy or girl who's in their feelings and decides, I don't like how things are happening or going here. I want to go train somewhere else. And they get to the next place and they say, I don't like the way things are going here. I'm going to go somewhere else. That's what I would consider a gym hopper.
What's funny about those people that complain about where they're at is they always end up coming back around to your school again.
Oh, yeah.
Wanting to come back and train. But in a lot of cases, these people burn bridges, right? So they're not able to return. There's that version. And then there's another version of gym hopper where it's just this guy who's just hopping around trying to get as much free training as he possibly can, right?
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, so he's playing to the the coach's weakness, and it's like, oh well, you need training partners on the mat, but you also, and this guy's your buddy, but he's also like, training for free when he comes in. So I mean, there's a lot of ways to, I think, handle people like that, and hopefully, like, if this is you, this is a wake up call. So
Yeah, I mean, shame on the person who wants to get free training just because everybody there is having to put their blood, sweat, and tears on the mat and also having to put their tuition as well. So what makes you any different or special? Like, yeah, you may be a great training partner. You may bring great attributes. It may be competition season and they need people to work with, but the gym needs to survive as well. And the way it survives is by paying your dues. And if you don't want to be
you
that
won't have
guy,
a gym to come back to.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like those are the leeches that shut the gym down. I think whenever you get the gym hoppers, it's funny to see what kind of energy they bring to your gym too. Good example, it may be that the school is in a certain period, maybe they just came off of a competition season, and now you come in and you're starting your competition, and you want to roll with their guys as if your life is on the line. And when it's time to wrap up the mats for the night, you think like, okay, I'm good, but this guy may want to continue to roll. So it's like, no, man, number one, you're here for free. Number two, you're here just as a visitor. Like, we're done for the night. You got to go home.
competitors should be encouraged to gym hop and cross train. I mean, that's important.
Right.
But when you're a competitor, you're typically representing a team, and then this comes back to like that whole Ronin thing that Mike and I were talking about over the phone. And you got guys like Tyrone Woodley, this is not a jiu-jitsu athlete, obviously he's an MMA champ, but when he started his career, he was like an independent and took that career almost all the way to the championship. He ended up finally joining a gym because, I mean, you have to, nobody gets anywhere without any help, right?
Yeah.
So, like, that's the thing. Like, if you feel like you're stuck in your belt level, or if, like, you haven't, like, found a place to settle down, that could be a big reason why you haven't advanced, right? You have to show some sort of consistency somewhere. You have to show some form of, this is a heavy word, but loyalty to a degree.
Right. Jeff could probably talk about this more since he is, an instructor and a school owner. But promotion's not always. It's not just based on skill level. Am I correct on that? Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the majority of it, right?
Sure. Yeah. Skill is a part of it.
How are you as a training partner? How is your attitude? Are you helping bring up the people below you? And if you have somebody who, let's say they're going from purple to brown belt, and they do have that skill as a brown belt, but they're lacking in all the other areas, you would be like, well, I'm not going to promote you because you're not fulfilling these other categories that I'm looking for in a student here. And so that person's like, well, screw this. I'm going to go to this gym, like what James was talking about, be on my best behavior for 3 months. They'll see my skill and go, I can't believe you're still a purple belt. You need to be a brown belt. They get their promotion into the brown belt, and then now they go back to the old behaviors. And then all of a sudden that circle happens again. Now they're trying to get to the next level, and the person that just put them to brown belt's like, you're failing in these categories. But does that sound accurate? Like as a coach and instructor?
I was just thinking, like, just out of curiosity, because you made me think of something. I was curious, how often has it ever happened that somebody got promoted and their instructor looked back and was like, man, I wish I wouldn't have promoted that guy?
I bet you it happens more than you think.
Really?
Yeah, because here's the thing. Like, when you're running a school, especially, you're going to have guys that commit to being there that aren't necessarily, like, the best candidates for seniority in your academy. Like, when you want people coming in and seeing people who have been training here, like, the type of person that they see and meet is going to be the personality that they end up emulating when it comes to drilling, when it comes to sparring. All of those things will start to, like, materialize in your gym, and it could infect every new student. So it's so important that the people that come up are people that you look up to a degree. Like, I mean, you should enjoy teaching your students because not only are you sharing your knowledge, but, you know, they're respecting your time by, you know, paying for your input and your knowledge, and you want to take care of them as best as possible by protecting them from some of the people we've been talking about today. So,
Yeah.
Do you have a moment as a school owner and an instructor where, let's say, a gym hopper is same one is constantly coming through? Do you have a moment where you're like, okay, either you're going to join or don't come in anymore?
yeah,
Or are you still going to always let them come in, like make them pay
yeah,
every time they come in? Or
it depends. It depends on how they left, you know. Like, how did they leave the academy? You know, did you leave pretty much like kicking and screaming and complaining about something I was doing or the way I was running things? Or did you leave because I just haven't seen you and you just haven't been around, and that's that, you know? I mean, I think if the person's just tough, that's not grounds to not let them train. But I think if they come in and they're skipping warm-ups and they show up late and they expect that we cater to them because of their belt level or whatever, and I'm not saying anybody does this that I've met, but I have seen it, and I have met people that have done it. So it's like, you know, I think it's really hard, especially an upper belt who's been at a lot of gyms. I think there's a sense of entitlement. It's like, I've spent all this time and I can kick anybody's ass in the gym, you know, but you might be a one-trick pony, man. You go around and you don't ever really try to, like, switch your game up. You know, like, you have the same style every time you go into a place, and it works for you for a long time until it doesn't. That's why you switch gyms, right? Because it's like, oh, now the guys are getting tough.
Yeah.
their egos getting to them then.
Yeah, so it's like there's those guys, too, where it's like it's nothing to do with anything except they're just not the best in the room, and that bothers the out of them, you know?
I mean, some gym hoppers, I think they're missing the self-realization aspect of the jiu-jitsu because they feel as though this gym isn't working out for me. I'm going to go somewhere else, or I'm not being challenged enough. Well, a lot of that could be because you aren't challenging yourself. Like, put yourself in a bad position. If you are top of the line, blue, purple, brown belt, lay on your back and let somebody put you in side control. See, does your jiu-jitsu still hold up under those circumstances? Put somebody on your back. See if you can get out and work your way into something better. Like, test your jiu-jitsu. Don't assume just because I'm dominating the room that I'm a world-class athlete. You may just be really good at getting to your game.
You never want to visit and show up to a school and have your first roll with the students there be a roll to the death, you know? I feel like being passive and being like, hey, you know, like giving up position, that kind of stuff shows a lot more strength than you realize, I think. I think when you go in there and you go balls to the wall in a scenario where you're the visitor, you just look like a dick. And it's going to be hard for people to like you and want to roll with you because they don't want to be in that thrash. They want to spend time with their friends, right?
Yeah.
People come to jiu-jitsu class to train, they want to get better, but they're also hanging out with their friends. Like, the older you get, the smaller your social circle gets. And but we've had people come into this gym before, and I think some of you might have even heard them say it yourselves, but like, I'm not looking for friends, man. I'm not here for friends. And it's like, all right, what the are you joining jiu-jitsu for then? Like, are you here for what, just to hurt people?
You just want to fight.
Yeah, you just want to fight. And, you know, there's gyms for you out there. It's not going to be mine.
We all have jobs to go to the next day, so I would rather be able to come in and enjoy myself and learn something and get a workout and be able to go home in one piece that night.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, if you're somebody who does go into a new gym and just goes and destroys you're an upper belt and you destroy a blue belt the first time that you're in a gym, and let's say you're traveling for work, well, now they're going to remember you.
Oh, yeah.
And next time that you're in that town for work and you're like, I want to train, and you go to that gym, they'll be like, nah, I don't think so. You about killed one of our blue belts. And
Well-
then now you don't have an avenue to train while you're on the road.
Now
Yeah.
it's different if they're doing it in a technical and a controlled fashion, right? I mean, a black belt who destroys a blue belt, that should be done in most cases in a beautiful fashion, right? You know.
You're talking like Hulk smash.
But if you've got like this, 300-pound black belt, who comes
Double
in
legging somebody
and he
through
just-
the wall.
Yeah, he got his belt from Gracie University, and he's
Or Amazon.
yeah, and he's fucking
your check cleared, here's your belt.
yeah.
Yeah, those are not healthy elements for a gym. Like, never mind the fact that you may never get to train at that gym again. They may let you train at that gym again just so whoever their top person is can potentially walk all over you, and then you go home in crumbled pieces.
And then you're like, I'm not going back to that gym.
Yeah.
So again, you still won't have a place to train next time you're
Yeah.
in town. What's the name of the guy that comes in? He's from Maryland.
Brad Potterfield.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
And he's not a gym hopper. He just
Yeah, that's his
he's
circumstance.
He's here for work,
Mm-hmm.
and then he comes here every time he's in town.
Yeah.
But he's awesome. He comes in here.
Super loyal guy. Like, I mean, talks about his gym. I've actually watched an ad from the gym that he trains at in Baltimore, and it's pretty
Yeah, it's
awesome,
pretty
man.
cool.
Like, yeah, the guy does a lot for the community. He's definitely somebody to look up to.
But that's how you need to be when you are. Like I said, he's not a gym hopper, kind of like what we're talking about.
Right.
But that's how you need to be when you are
He's a
away
visitor.
from your home base
Yeah.
and you're visiting somewhere. That's the kind of person and kind of training partner you need to be, because he's awesome every time that he comes in.
Yeah, and
I always forget his name every time, and I feel terrible. Was
he
it Brad?
doesn't just Brad Potterfield. He doesn't just show up. He'll even pretty sure he texts Jeff every time he's in town or he thinks he's going to be in town and say, "Hey, wanted to know if I could come in on this particular night. I'm gonna be in town." Like, of course, man. That's the kind of guy you want. He's been a white belt, I think, maybe a couple years now, but obviously a lot of that's just because he lives in Maryland and he trains in Maryland, but his job takes him all over probably the East Coast, so stays on the road.
And
or
I'm sure
in the air.
he's probably got other gyms that he probably visits when
probably.
he's traveling for work.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he behaves the same way at those gyms. So he's away from his home base, but he knows he's going to have this surrogate home in each one of these towns.
Yeah.
And I'm just assuming that all these other places are going to welcome him in just like we welcome him when he's here. And that's the way you need to be if you are forced to be a gym hopper.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if he started going to other places around here every time he came into town, there might not be like a level of opportunity for him as there would be if he's like committed somewhere, right? There's a saying that goes, bloom where you're planted, right?
Yeah.
And that's hard to do when you're constantly moving around. And a lot of people seem to think that, when they move and change their environment, that things in their life will improve. And in some cases that could be true. But in a lot of cases, wherever you go, there you are, right? So it's a lot of times an internal thing that you have to fix in order for you to stick around somewhere and like ground your feet, root your feet to the ground, and then you can start building a foundation and relationships with the people around you, something that lasts, something that's more meaningful than just, looking for a belt that says I can kick your ass or whatever, because I think a lot of us join martial arts to achieve that status, but we end up realizing down the road that this is like something for my mental health. Like, this is something for me to not be as selfish. Like, this is something that represents so much more than just a technique, the techniques behind the martial art. Well, Mean Mike, when can you tell our audience they can expect more Mean Mike videos?
Well, let's shoot for the next couple weeks.
Oh.
I got a couple ideas.
Very cool. You can catch Mean Mike videos on our YouTube channel. This has been another episode of Jiu-Jitsu by the Train Tracks. Mean Mike, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. Fun as always.
Appreciate you. If you liked this episode, you like watching us do our thing here, please like, subscribe, share on our various platforms. You can also share a topic with us at email.us@profectuswilco.com. Thanks.